Time's up. Let's do this.
Leroy Jenkins! What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Team Chat Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Jerrett Wilson, joined to my right by Rachel Mogan.
How's it going?
And to my left, Zachary Parks.
What's up?
In case you did not know, Team Chat Podcast is a video game podcast where we talk about games, the ones we love, the ones we hate, and everything in between. If you want to get in contact with us, you can do that by sending us an email at teamchatpodcast@gmail.com, following us on Twitter, liking us on Facebook, and subscribing to our iTunes and YouTube channels. If you want to support the show, you can do that as well by going to patreon.com/teamchatpodcast, where it's for as little as $1 a month. But that's all, folks. You can support the show, and in return, we will give you a cool perk like getting the episode early before its General Tuesday release and access to our private Team Chat Podcast Discord server.
We do have a new emote for anybody that's missed it.
We have two.
It's Milord Jerrett's crown.
Oh, nice.
Good sir.
We have that one, and we also have...
Give it to me.
It's really... I don't think
It's such a
you-
pretty crown.
It's
a
such
pretty,
a
pretty
good crown.
I love
It's
it.
very
It was a
pretty.
great selection. Thank you for that. And then we also had Riven suggested one that was the stock footage guy, the stock photo guy who always looks like he's dying inside every time he's
Like, he's got
smiling.
this really
The older
painful...
guy?
The older guy.
Yeah. I think it's Harold or something like that is what
know
people
who
have
you're
called him.
talking about.
But it's
There's the Milord Jerrett crown.
Oh, nice,
Isn't that
nice.
nice?
That is
it's
beautiful.
beautiful. I love it.
very
Beautiful
I love
and
it
it's
so much.
fine.
Oh, you might notice my new name is Cornmeal Hag. So
Yeah.
Water hag.
And just until PSN
You water
allows me
hag.
to do it, I changed mine to Milord Jerrett on there as
Milord
well.
Jerrett.
So a lot of fun stuff happening over there in the Discord server. We also have an update for our song contest, and that we have a winner. A new winner, first time winner.
Hey.
Fuchsia correctly guessed
Fuchsia.
the game as being Crazy Taxi. Mogan called
Okay,
it.
cool.
Crazy
I was technically right, but I forgot
But
to...
you didn't
I
go and
forgot-
comment.
I know, I forgot
And Fuchsia
to
did.
comment.
Also, Fuchsia is the first person to ever submit her correct guess through Twitter.
Oh, she should get two then.
Yeah.
No? So, like,
She gets
bonus
she
points.
now
She
owns
gets a
the show.
bonus.
She also gave the song because it was actually like a song of a band. Is All I Want from The Offspring is by The Offspring is the song that's the Crazy Taxi main theme.
Oh.
And so she guessed those, the song title and the band name.
Then she gets three.
So like
gets
she was
three
all
songs.
on top of
Song
it.
contest over.
So
Song contest.
Fuchsia sent us,
Super winner.
Fuchsia gave us a song
winner.
and hint
Super terrific winner.
already for the end of this episode. So stick around for that, where you will get to hear her song and hint. All right. Well, we have a big, huge announcement that came up this week. But before we get into our main topic of the show, we do want to go ahead and do a little change of pace here. We're going to start with a moment with Mogan and talk about. I know it is really weird, right?
It's
Hearing all
not
that
okay.
news first,
It's
right out
not
the
okay.
gate.
It's
Like right after this, we're like, okay, that's the show.
And that's it. We're
all
done.
right, we are done.
Here's the song hint, and we're out of here.
I hope you enjoyed the show. Fuck faces.
But yeah, so
Close out all of them.
That's the alternative team.
I love it. The hateful
Yeah,
version.
the hateful version.
But yeah, so we had just a couple quick updates in the moment with Mogan. So hit us with that news.
So mostly these are actually two things that I wanted to circle back around to. Bro Mogan pointed out to me that I shamefully forgot two of the games that I was actually the most jazzed about from the Nintendo Direct Mini.
Okay.
So this is kind of old news by now, but you may have missed them if you're not really into indie games, and I think that these two deserve to really be highlighted. So the first one that I'm actually not quite as jazzed about is Celeste. Do either of you remember seeing anything about Celeste, the game?
The name is familiar, but I do not know much
So
more than that.
Celeste is really kind of the 2D side-scrolling pixel-style throwback game that's coming out pretty soon now, but it's basically billing itself as one of those extremely difficult old-school 2D side-scrollers. So you basically play as this person, Celeste, and you're like a mountain climber / ice climber, and you just have to traverse all of these really complex. It's actually a really beautiful-looking game. Take a look at this. You have to traverse all of these.
About this.
Yeah.
Kid.
So
What do you think
see,
about
it's
that?
really old school. It's
it's
got
cool,
like that 2D
Oh, yeah,
pixelated
yeah.
look to it. But you play as Celeste, and you're trying to just traverse all of these really complicated levels and get to the top. You got to get there. So it's not going to be super big on story, I don't think. But for those of you that are always on the look for those really challenging rage quitty games, kind of like Ori and the Blind Forest.
Yeah.
Because even though it was really, really beautiful and the soundtrack was amazing,
Rock
God,
tears.
was it hard once you eventually got further into it. This is going to be your new fix for that. So this is coming out at the end of this month, January 25th.
Okay.
So this episode will be right on time for that. And it is going to be available for quite a few different platforms. If I'm not mistaken, it's going to be on Switch, PS4, and even Xbox One. So
there you
PC,
go.
Switch,
There you go. No excuse.
PlayStation, everything, everybody's getting it. And in another everybody's getting it kind of tone, this is the one that I was a lot more excited about. I actually don't know if I'm saying it right, so my bad if I'm not. Fae. Fae. Yeah, it was like it could either be Fae, or Fe, and I'm
Faux
not
fum.
sure. Faux fum. It could be any of the above, and I'm not sure which one it is. Now, surprise, surprise, Fae is kind of coming out of the gate from EA.
Oh.
Did you see that?
No.
Yeah, so Faye is
hate it
actually
now.
I missed that news.
it's so me and Bro Mogan are both really excited about Faye because it is Zach, you're gonna love this. It is a
You can't with this
gorgeous old school platformer that has one of the most vibrant. I kind of want to call it lunar color spectrums because it's got a lot of very dark backgrounds juxtaposed with really bright, colorful neons like purple and lime green. Let's see if we can get. Take a look at that. So that's just
that is
kind of a
pretty.
very little bit of some of the
Yeah.
imagery. Let me see if I can get. That's the actual title cover. So you play.
Nice.
Isn't that nice?
I remember
Right?
this. Okay, I remember that little character.
So to be fair, this is actually from a Swedish developer. So this is from Zoink Games, but it is being published by EA. So it's an old school platformer, and it is 3D. So
it
it's
kind
a 3D
of
platformer.
looks like Ori.
It kind of looks like
Like,
Ori
it
because
reminds me of it.
Your character is basically like this little pseudo fox, and the whole thing of the game is that it's really big on sound. So you, as this little fox creature, whose name I guess is Faye, I'm actually not sure about that. Could be anything. Your job is to bring song back to the world. So as you traverse
noble
around
quest.
a noble quest. So you're basically fighting against these creatures called, I think they're either called the Silent or the Silence. And you basically are trying to get rid of them and bring song and power and nature sounds back to the world. And so you basically go around and like it's really cute. You like sing at other creatures to get them to give you their song too, and it looks adorable.
Nice.
So I'm really excited about it coming out February 16th, if I'm not
soon.
mistaken, for Xbox,
very
PS4, and Switch and PC.
about that?
So
Looks
that's
like
another
that'd be a
one
fun
that
Switch game.
everybody's going
That
to
would
get
be a good
something
Switch
for.
game.
I'm getting it for Switch.
Yeah,
so
I
I think at the turn of the year, somebody, on the live episode, somebody asked, what's the next game you're going to spend actual dollars on?
Faye.
Mine's going to be Faye.
Nice. So speaking of spending actual dollars, so remember, I think it was also in the live episode or maybe in one of our 2018 anticipation and 2017 recap episodes, I said that I decided that I was going to wait and I was going to buy one collector's edition of a game a year.
Oh, yeah.
And I was waiting to see if they were going to announce one for God of War. And they did.
Of course they
Ooh,
did.
what's it look like?
Oh
Show
my
us
God.
the goods.
It is
Is
beautiful.
that what-
It's called the Stone Mason Edition. So far, it's only available from GameStop for $150.
Ooh.
Are you gonna get it?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, that's it. Well,
Oh yeah, I'm getting this. So let's see. So it comes with, first off, here's a collection of all the things. Badass statue.
Oh, look at that
Steel case.
Kratos.
Obviously the big box. It's got like this lithograph print. It's got a map. That's his son.
Oh.
We'll call him Jim Bob.
No, it's
like-
Atreus. Atreus is his name.
Jabbo.
Travis
Come help your
is.
father out.
Atreus.
So
So it comes with this really badass statue. It comes with a stonemason's ring, Mimir's head, talking keychain, 2-inch horse and troll carvings, Defender of the Chosen shield, Kratos and Atreus statue, steelbook case, 2 Noldra brothers carvings, exclusive lithograph, and a cloth map, as well as digital content for the game, like a armor set, a shield, a digital comic, a digital art book, and a dynamic theme for the PS4.
See, that's a collector's
that's a
edition.
lot.
That's a collector's
That's a
edition
lot
right
of
there.
inclusions.
Yeah.
That's probably worth the money to real
for
fans.
sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like the Horizon Zero Dawn. Like I took a gamble with Horizon because I was like, I've never played this game before, but I really am into it, so I want to buy it. And like the Aloy statue
Yeah,
for
it's
me
like the
alone,
best
when
statue you got.
I opened that and pulled that out of the case and everything, I was like, oh my god, this
Oh,
was worth the money right here.
Did it say, is Kratos going to be the same size as Aloy?
I think so.
It looked like they were
should
about
be.
the
Yeah, he
same.
looks big.
Yeah,
she
9
looks
inch.
awesome.
9 inch, and that's a 9 inch statue for Aloy right
I
there.
want you to position Aloy so that she's shooting arrows into Travis's head.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
I know that's not his
PlayStation
name, but that's
Gear-
what I'm going to call him.
PlayStation Gear now is actually selling another standalone Aloy statue where it's like $50 or whatever, but she's standing and she's actually like has the bow pulled and like drawn. It's a really cool thing. So check that out on the PlayStation Gear store. But no, so they announced that, so I was like, hell yes, there's my collector's edition for this year. Because it was honestly kind of a toss-up for me because they're still saying that Days Gone is going to be a 2018 release. So we'll know.
Tell me again what that is.
Days Gone is the one that's coming out it's a PS4 exclusive by Bend. And it's the one that's feels Last of Us-ish.
Oh,
But it's
okay,
like you're a part of this like you're this biker guy or bounty hunter in this post-apocalyptic setting. The zombies, though, are more World War Z style. So like mass hordes that rush at you at full speed and all this stuff. So it looks really good too. So it's kind of a toss-up for me between God of War and Days Gone, but that God of War one's pretty sick. So I don't think I can pass on that one necessarily.
So far, all the games that I'm the most interested about this year have all been indies. In the Valley of the Gods, the one from the company that did Firewatch, I'm really looking forward to that. Looking forward to Faye. Pretty much everything else, I'm just like, meh.
What about the one that I bring up that I don't know the name of?
The Last Night?
Thank
Yeah.
you for helping with that. Yeah,
my
no,
mind.
that one does look really cool too.
I got you.
That one looks great.
I love the neon pop look of that one. It's
that one
very
looks
like
good.
Pretty in right now.
I thought that one was way more, from what I remembered in my mind's eye, I thought it was way more 8-bit, 16-bit style, but when we looked at it again, when you brought it up, it's way, like, it
like
doesn't
a
have that look.
fusion.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
an interesting fusion
Yeah.
of new and old.
So I'm pretty excited about it too, because that one does look a lot of fun. But before we leave this news segment, let's get a quick check-in on the Overwatch League, because Week 2 has just wrapped up, Stage 1, Week 2. And so far, we're sitting with the standings here.
I think we can all already know that Seoul Dynasty is number one. So great.
That South
No,
Korea's got-
I
It's
do love
actually-
that they're holding their dominance.
Yeah.
So it is, the division leaders are Seoul Dynasty, winning the Pacific.
I've
and
always loved Soul Dynasty. they've always been my favorite.
Zach stands up, takes off his shirt, and he's wearing a Seoul Dynasty
I've
shirt.
always loved them. They're still champions, right?
You're such a victory whore.
So they are
bandwagon.
leading the Pacific Division with 4 wins to 0 losses, and London Spitfire leads the Atlantic with 4 wins, 0 losses. Followed up under that by New York Excelsior, Houston. I'm not going to remember them all. The
Outlaws.
Valiant, yeah, thank you. The Philadelphia, San Francisco, and then Gladiators, Boston Uprising, Florida Mayhem, Dallas Fusion sits at number whatever that is. Way down at the bottom, and last place, Shanghai Dynasty.
So that's really kind of what I think we need to talk about is that last little bit you said there.
Dallas
because
Fusion.
the Dallas the
sorry.
Dallas Fusion,
Sorry.
you should be ashamed.
I'm still learning it all,
So
It's all very new to me.
yeah, it's all very
It's
new
all
to
very
me.
new.
I've watched enough that it's no longer new to me. I'm like, okay, I'm invested. I know what's going on.
So I watched Spitfire versus Fuel earlier today.
Good.
Because I wanted to catch
Ooh,
up.
that was a good match.
It was a good
Spitfire
match.
Versus, no, I'm sorry. That's a lie. The better match was Spitfire versus the Valiant.
I wanted to go back and watch
gotta
that
go
one. I just
back and
haven't had a
watch the
chance to watch
VODs for that
yet.
one. So for anybody that doesn't know, even if you're not able to watch the live games as they're happening, on YouTube they do have Overwatch League VODs. So they're full matches. They've got maps 1, 2, 3, 4, and if there's a fifth one, the fifth one as well. And they're good quality, so you can absolutely catch up on everything that you missed.
Yep.
But the Spitfire, who are obviously number 2 in the league right now, they're a really powerful team. They did go against Dallas Fuel either earlier this week or last
I
week.
think it was yesterday.
Then that must be their second match.
Yeah.
Because they had
The one I watched was from
gone
yesterday.
against each other
It was like the first.
before.
It was earlier this. Yeah. Well, I mean, they would have played, I think, last week
Yeah.
or something too. But this week, this was one from this week that I watched.
But in summation, the Fuel they're supposed to be one of the strongest teams
They
in the
are
league right now.
sucking.
And they did terrible. They've been consistently doing
they're
terrible.
choking.
Whereas the LA Valiant, which are a team that everybody kind of brushed off prior to the league starting, they went against the Spitfire yesterday as well and solidly held their own.
Nice.
They actually pulled it to 5 matches.
Oh, wow.
So it was 2-2, and they had to go to that 5th match, and they almost had it. But then one of the Spitfires players, Birdring, he's an incredible Widowmaker.
Oh, yeah.
And they were on Lijiang Tower, and he just went off and just unfortunately decimated the Valiant. But for God's sake, the Valiant are doing as well as can be expected.
They still holding your fandom?
Oh yeah, they're still my favorite. I don't care if they're not number one. They are number one in my heart.
Spitfire.
Waifu for lifu.
Spitfire for me, still locked in as my favorite, I believe.
Oh really? The Spitfire are your favorites?
I think so. I think that's what I'm going with.
They're impressive, but they're not my favorites.
Like I was saying last week, is because Prophet is who is on the Spitfire is an amazing Genji, and so obviously I get behind Genji.
You definitely need to watch the VODs for the Spitfire v Valiant match.
Yeah, I do want to go back and watch that one.
Soon from the Valiant was giving Prophet a run for his
Really?
money on the Tracers.
So
every time Prophet would get behind him, Soon would be like, no.
So I was in the matches that I was watching. Prophet was actually playing a lot because they were playing on Oasis, and Prophet was actually playing a lot of Junkrat.
Yeah,
and he
that's not
twice
surprising.
in that match got double support kills with his Riptide.
Yeah, I saw those.
It was gnarly.
Oh, it was gnarly. But so we need to circle back to the big news: is that the Fuel is doing terrible. I don't know.
They're supposed to be like one of the best.
They were. So before all of this started, Zach, you probably don't know a lot about the standings. Before the Overwatch League started, and in the preseason, the Dallas Fuel were billed as being Seoul Dynasty's only true contenders. More so than the Spitfire, more so than any other team. The Dallas Fuel versus the Seoul Dynasty was supposed to be the matchup. And ironically, one of their very first matches against Seoul Dynasty was the best that they did, and it's been all downhill from there.
Bummer.
So their first fight against the Seoul Dynasty, they actually did really well. They held their own, they were doing good, but they did ultimately lose. Their next match, which was against the LA Valiant, the Valiant killed them, just destroyed them. And I was like, wow, going crazy at home. And everybody was like, oh, it's just because they went against Seoul Dynasty yesterday. They're just tired. And I was like, that's the most
exhausting.
People literally tried to use that excuse. Yeah. And then a couple days later, the Fuel went against, who was it?
I can look.
I forget. They went against somebody else that they weren't supposed to.
Last week?
Yeah, they went against someone that they weren't supposed to lose to, and they did.
Yeah.
They got freaking... It was the Outlaws. It was the Houston Outlaws. The Outlaws blasted them to smithereens, and everybody was like, what is happening with Dallas Fuel?
Wow.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
their fourth match, again, another just tragic loss. And it's like, wow.
Where they played against the Spitfire. Yeah, so the Dallas Fuel played against, the Houston Outlaws. Outlaws blew them away, and then they played against the Spitfire Friday is when that was.
So they're losing to teams that they're not supposed to lose to, and I'm using air quotes there. And everybody's just wondering what is happening with them. So, and one of their players got temporarily banned for a day for making homophobic comments about one of the players from the Houston Outlaws.
In person?
Yeah,
no,
not in
on a
person.
stream.
He's a streamer. So one of the Fuel's members is a popular streamer, but he's known for being really toxic.
Yeah.
And he made these public comments that were really homophobic towards Muma of the Houston Outlaws, who's super nice, and I love
so glad
Muma
you
to
can
death.
keep all these names straight.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Muma was one of the only ones that I did follow on stream prior to Overwatch League, so I knew him beforehand. And so the other player got temporarily banned. He couldn't play in that night's matches, and it's like, dude, if I were their manager, I'd probably take him off the roster. Yeah. I mean, even in the games that he's been an active player, he hasn't really been doing that good.
Yeah.
And if I were their manager, I'd be like, let's cut our losses. Get him out of here.
Just start fresh, somebody new. Don't even
Just
have
start
to deal
fresh.
with
We got to
bullshit.
do something. They need better communication. I don't know what's wrong with their team. They have no teamwork.
Falling apart.
They're falling apart. It's actually kind of sad.
Do you think these players, how well did they know each other before these teams were?
I mean, I would imagine, isn't the whole thing with this, they live in team housing. So they're
They do
together, they
now.
play, they didn't used to.
So a lot of the teams are brand new. So actually during the preseason, they were constantly saying on a lot of the matchups, this is the first time these 6 people have ever played together in a LAN setting.
Yeah.
It was all over wireless, before then. So for a lot of these teams, it is their first time being together in person.
Yeah.
And that can cause its
be a little
own
odd.
upsets.
Yeah.
But the Fuel used to be, a lot of their members were envious. And they were the big competition for South Korea's Luna Takai.
Mm-hmm.
So at Apex of last year, it was Luna Takai, which is now Seoul Dynasty, versus Envious, which is basically now Dallas Fuel. And they went head-to-head, super solid matches. Seoul still won, but everyone was like, okay, this is the time. Dallas Fuel, a.k.a. Envious, they're going to bring it back, they're going to win. wrong, and wrong. So it's been a really interesting downward spiral to watch for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's see if in the next few weeks or whatever, if they come back, like especially as this week just wrapped up, let's see what they do in week 3. That should be really interesting to see. Final note on this topic, though, I do want to say Mogan brought it up in our episode last week where you mentioned that for as great as all this is, there are no women players on this league. I read a fantastic article by Polygon that I think Team Chat podcast homework. Go read this because I knew what you said.
Did you post in the Discord?
I need to actually because I went and read it. And it like honestly, it was one of those things like you brought it up and I was like, you're right, that's crazy. I read this article and it just made me fucking mad. Like I was just like, it's bullshit.
It is bullshit that they don't have any female players. It is absolute bullshit.
So as great as the Overwatch League is for advancing the esports world into more of a mainstream medium,
and especially
let's
into the
get
West.
it together, people.
Yeah.
Good God Almighty, it is 2018.
I mean, even their commentators, like even the people that have presence on screen that aren't actual players, there's only one. There's only one lady commentator out there. And it's like, come on, guys, just get it a little bit more diverse. Just a little. I'm not asking for much.
Yeah.
Like 2 more women. That's as much as I can ask for.
I'll take it.
Bare minimum standards.
I feel like that's the realistic minimum amount that I can possibly ask for.
But no, so I'll post it in our Discord and everything because, and I'll post it on social media too because it's one that everybody needs to
is
read.
bullshit.
Raise some awareness to. All right, but now to move on to our main topic of the day, which again, like this is funny because we're now going to have 2 Overwatch themed and Nintendo themed episodes in a row. But good God, Nintendo is coming out swinging in 2018.
So Zach, have you heard about, we're about to talk about, for anybody that doesn't know where this is going, last week Nintendo announced a new game, and I use that word very lightly.
It's not a game.
It's not a game. The Nintendo
It's a way of life.
Labo.
Yeah, I saw that.
Did you see it? Did you like watch all the
did.
videos and
I
stuff?
did.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm
Nintendo.
caught
I love it.
Shut up, Mogan. I know what's going on.
Yeah.
He's been playing so much Fortnite though.
I've been playing a lot of Fortnite. I like it, but will I get it and use it?
That's a good question.
Do you
But
really
now
wanna
here's the thing,
fish
though.
in your living room, Jerrett?
Not necessarily. But like, not with fishing.
Okay,
I fished in real life enough. I don't need to necessarily do that virtually.
So I just saw one video and they went through like 12 different iterations of what you can do with the piece of cardboard.
Right.
So we should probably back up real quick
What
and
this is.
describe it to anybody
Yeah.
that hasn't already seen it. So
Right.
the Nintendo Labo is actually a game. So it's a Switch game that you can buy, but the thing is, it's not just software. It's not just an actual game that you plug into your Switch. It has this whole environment built around it that is DIY construction, like cardboard.
Yeah.
So essentially what it is when you buy the game, you're really buying a kit. And the kit comes with however many sheets of basically cardboard blueprints that you pop out of the cardboard, and then you have to fold and bend and construct whatever it is that the blueprint is for around your Switch. So these could be things like a fishing rod and a fishing stand for your Switch that you can use to like virtually fish with the Switch.
Yeah.
It could be a super fighting robot Mega Man.
Well, so that's the thing. There are 2 kits right now that are
Yes.
available that it comes with. And these come with the cardboard cutouts and the Switch software to be able to run these. The 2 are the Variety Pack, which is the one that had the Variety Kit, which is going to sell for $69. It comes with 5 different things. It comes with the house, the RC cars, the fishing rod, motorbike, and the piano. Then there's a separate kit, which is the robot kit for $79.
Did you already say the house?
Yeah, house
Okay,
is in
good.
Variety
Yeah.
Pack.
The piano was. I mean, that was like the centerpiece in the video. The
The
piano
piano
was really
looks
neat.
really cool. And then in addition to the 2 different actual kits, you can also optionally buy, I think for only like $9 to $10, a customization kit, which is like all these different colors and markers.
Stickers, different things like that you
just
put on.
things that you can use to make them really fun and interesting. And what I really like about the Labo is, it is something no one has ever seen before in
It's
their entire life.
It was
insanely
ridiculously
new.
It's
original.
Yeah.
insanely new.
Yeah.
It's so original. This is the kind
true.
of Nintendo move that I live for. Even if I'm not going to buy the game, even if it's not the kind of game that I personally want, I love seeing Nintendo go as far
I
into
agree
the
with that.
outfield as they can possibly get.
I agree.
And just come up with something crazy. That's all their own.
Yeah, and I also Well, when I first watched it, I was like, this is great. I had a really strong reaction to it. I was like, and like everything just got better and better. I was like, this is super innovative. It's super interesting. Obviously, this was in their heads for a while when they were developing the Switch. So it didn't seem like, hey, let's try this. It seems very integrated into what the Switch already is. You know? But all that being said, yeah, I just don't know, like, who's it geared for?
I very much do believe that this is a game primarily geared towards children.
I think so too. I think so.
Part of why I say that is I don't know how much you know about STEM educational toys for kids, but there's a really big market for basically like little science kits that are really toys that kids can use to build their own little science things that teach them about conductors, how music works in the context of science, a lot of really electricity and how that stuff works.
Science,
robotics, different things like that. I've seen one that's you build R2D2.
Exactly.
Cool,
yeah.
Like,
so I feel like the Labo kind of mirrors that spectrum of being geared towards children for the not necessarily express purpose, but for at least a subconscious purpose of getting them interested in creation. And creating anything as far as engineering, art, any type of creation. I think that activates different parts of a kid's brain that really benefit them. And this is so hands-on that I feel like kids and even adults could get a lot of their neurons blasting in ways that you couldn't really get through just a regular video game. So I feel like it's very niche. I don't feel like this is for everybody, but for the people that do get it, I really hope that they're going to have smiles on all their faces like Nintendo really wants.
There is something that I think will tap into the creativity of children, which I think I'm all for. I think that's a positive thing for video games, honestly. I think it's a good push in the right direction.
I think it's good for humanity. I think creativity is good
our
for
souls.
humans.
Well, I mean, it's always been the appeal of like Legos or
it's
Kinects
this idea which is popular. I mean, you look at Minecraft. I mean, you look at these games. Like they're popular for a reason. I also think, though, it will be great party attractions, like board games. Like, hey, bring out the let me see
bring out the
Labo,
the fishing rod. Bunch of fish. I don't know why I always bring that one up. It seems the most boring.
At least go with the fighting robot.
The fighting robot.
Yes, rock 'em, sock 'em.
Like one of the guns just falls down.
Wow.
So when you said you watched and you were immediately on board, what did you think of it?
Oh,
that was one thing I was wanting to do. Like our initial reactions of the announcement.
So I will go on ahead and say at this current time, I don't think I will get it, but I love it. I love everything about it. It's just not for me, but I love the direction. I love the creativity. There's nothing about it that I'm not on board with.
The piano one is pretty. When they did the piano one was cool. I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's pretty.
Especially when they like kicked off the music with it. And I was like,
it's just like a cardboard cutout and it's doing that. It's
and
really
it can
cool.
play.
Yeah,
you can actually
amazing.
push the keys and everything.
So cool.
Yeah.
And another thing that I really think Nintendo is going to try are expansions.
Sure.
So
for sure.
if this
It
does
can't be
wind
just
up,
these two.
And they might give power to the consumer. Like, here's a blank cardboard box. What can you make out of it? If I don't know exactly how this technology, I don't know how cardboard technology works.
I would be surprised.
It's so complicated. But seriously, I don't know exactly how this stuff syncs up properly.
And I wouldn't be surprised at all if in the future they give some kind of software that's like basically like a programming thing. Like you
kind of like Mario Maker before this DIY Labo.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for me, when I watched it, it started off and I was initially like, because I think, it shows building the piano first, then maybe the house. And I was like, what? Like I was initially very confused about what this is supposed to be. Like my first thought is are they selling like customizable stands for the Switch? Like, right now it just has the kickstand.
Jerrett.
It just has the kickstand or the dock. And I was like, oh, so you can buy a cardboard piano stand for your Switch? All right. But then it started like showing off the different things that you could do. And I was like, oh, wait, I understand. And then it showed the robot one. And I was like,
the robot's cool.
Yes, please. Yeah. This is badass.
They have the VR
Super
one,
cool.
right?
Yeah.
Like a jetpack one?
Yeah, that's the robot one, where it's like it attaches. Which I thought was interesting too, is the string attachments.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
for like the robot kit, especially. You wear it on your back.
Yeah.
And then
it looks
it
delicate.
has things
like it does not look to be
I'm
like
wondering
used.
how many strings they give
to be looked at kind of thing.
It is,
Look, but do not touch.
Do not you play with that.
But yeah, so that one especially, when I saw that and I was like, oh, okay, I get it now, because it's not VR. Because like that one though does have like some kind of like
it
face.
does have the goggles.
It's got
face
some
goggle
sort of
thing,
visor.
but I think it's more for a look rather than an actual. I don't think you like wear the Switch right there. Although that'd be kind of cool.
That'd
if you
be pretty
did.
cool.
But still, I was like,
heavy.
Little kids just top heavy.
Yeah. Oh no.
Mom and Dad. But it was this sort of thing where I was like, it's not VR and it's not AR, augmented reality, but it almost puts you more into the game than any other. It's like what they try to do with the Wii.
Yeah.
That's what they're even doing with the Joy-Cons of the Switch and everything, of being able to like motion activate it. But this, like especially the robot one, you are a robot. You like move and walk and like use your things because it's all connected with the strings. And I was just like, that's crazy.
Right. There's something beautiful about how, just coming back to cardboard and like how every other company seems to go like the most futuristic, the most cutting edge technology.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, Nintendo is like tapping into the exact opposite, but it's like somehow going around everybody else. And like, this is the right way to do it.
This is what we want to do.
Like,
This is how we're going to do it.
They might be onto something,
You know that somebody at Sony and somebody at Microsoft are like wanting to kill themselves right now.
Sure. Kidding, son of a
Sure.
And you gotta know that this type of game made out of cardboard is so much more economic and cost effective.
Exactly. It's like
Nintendo shafted everybody with this. They're like, fuck you.
Yeah, seriously.
And apparently it had an effect because I was looking it up because I'd seen this in a tweet and I wanted to get the numbers right just so I would know for sure that according to the financialtimes.com, Nintendo adds almost 1.4 billion in value after the announcement of Nintendo Labo.
Get wrecked, everyone else.
1.4 billion dollars.
$1 million. And I bet that they'll probably release like the first expansion for this probably around the holidays.
Oh yeah,
because
they'll
if
see
we
how
didn't-
this does.
Yeah, and if we didn't already mention it, it comes out really soon. It comes out April 20th.
Yeah, pre-order
which-
now.
Yeah, you can pre-order it now. And the only reason that I can remember April 20th is because someone pointed out that it's 420 blaze it. And I was like, oh. So this year, April
Person should be a
20th, you can get your
comedian.
hands on your very own Nintendo Labo.
So what would be then? What would make like these kits right now? We're that's cool. We see the appeal. Obviously, like we said, we feel like they're something geared a little bit more towards kids. In fact, I've seen a lot of stuff even on Nintendo's website. They're like, "Hey, parents, like sign up for this, and you might have the opportunity to go to like a live hands-on workshop to like see how it works, so you can help your kids out with it."
Can you still sign up if you don't have
has so
kids?
much potential, really. Like, you could like build your own stuff.
I know, and so that's
there's so much potential.
That's my question: is what would be the thing that if they announced it, like you could do this with the Labo, what would be the thing? Like, oh yeah, for sure,
A Roomba.
Roomba.
I need help around the house. I need a little robot switch slave to help me
Nice.
clean up my floors.
I saw one that
I think
somebody
like a
made.
DJ.
That'd be cool.
Anything musical is always
Oh,
great.
that would like a little cardboard.
turntable.
Oh yes.
Yeah, because the piano, they already have the piano. So
already
yeah,
did.
if they could do something with like,
other
because they got the strings, they could easily make
Yeah.
like a turntable thing.
Probably.
That'd be
Actually,
pretty sweet.
That'd be cool.
I don't know how it would work, but even just a more expanded piano, I would be really excited.
Yeah.
about
Yeah, because right now it's
more-
only 13
Yeah,
keys or
right now
something
it's
like
a
that.
really
You're not
mighty
going to be able to play
keyboard.
for a release on that
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Get me to like 64 keys.
There we go.
And
Full on
I'll
88.
deal with
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Give me the
Full on grand piano. You walk into somebody's
Don't
house
touch
and
my
they have
grand
a full
piano.
cardboard grand piano.
It will collapse if you touch it.
It is sensitive and soft. I can only hold my switch.
crumble.
Do not put any sheet music on this, and that will be the tipping
God
point.
help us if a damp day comes along.
Yeah, my God.
Shut that window. It's humid out.
It's morphing the cardboard.
Oh, your house floods from
Yeah.
a dryer overflow, and it's just like, my switch!
My Labos.
I would say for me, it would have to be something like I saw somebody online who said, "Okay, so this is cool and all, but when can I get the cardboard shotgun for Doom?"
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I was like,
thinking
"Oh, that would be
weapons would be
cool."
cool.
and somebody had like put it like somebody made like a pump shotgun out of the cardboard, and I was like,
That would be
yes,
cool.
please.
That'd be
that would
very
be pretty
cool.
badass.
I'd even take a butterfly catcher.
from Pocket Camp.
I want a butterfly catcher like from Pocket Camp, but I want it to work in Breath of the Wild so that I can
Oh, there
run
you go.
around and swipe
that'd
at
be
bugs.
cool.
That'd be fun. Or something, yeah, like even a sword and shield attachment for Breath
Oh,
of the
that
Wild.
would be so fun. Like a shield.
That
Oh,
would be fun.
yes.
I mean,
that would be
that'd be
really
a simple
cool.
cutout, you know, and you could even still like hold the Joy-Con.
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
your
wonder
you
hand.
how
could.
you
You
would
could have it in your hand behind the shield.
Behind
the shield would attach
yeah.
to your
and then the other
wrist.
Joy-Con, you could like make a cardboard sword that the other Joy-Con
And it would
fits
fit
in,
into the
and it
hilt,
fits
and
into
then
the
you'd
hilt. Nintendo, listen to us.
Oh,
Come
I'm
on.
sure they have all that ready.
Don't know, but we're gonna cut this out and send this to them.
They have
Tag
it
them
all.
on the Twitter so that they know what to do. But then obviously,
Reggie, feeling me?
Yeah, exactly. Tag him. Be like, what is it, Reggie? Come on, we got a good idea.
Important.
Also, who can I talk about my trading card idea? So
Oh, that's right.
So
What is
like
that idea again?
it's where you have like the scannable codes on the back of each
That's
card
right.
that
Man,
Adam
stop
adds
telling
it
it to
I've heard
everybody,
that
for
too.
God's
God,
sake.
you know what? Trademarked.
Jerrett
Wilson Productions. That's what it's trademarked under. So that would be cool. I think integration into more, I guess, adult games. Because I mean, like, I understand the appeal of the like, especially the motorbike one looked cool too. But like, make that for Mario Kart. You know,
Yeah.
like make
wheel.
it a peripheral where the like you can either be the motorbike or the like have a steering wheel for Mario Kart.
See, I feel like they've already got the motorbike, so they've got to be like have that in the works or something.
Right. Like so they have to. I would imagine that at some point they're going to announce Labo compatibility for these other games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe
Like,
so.
I mean, I don't necessarily know what that looks like on their end. I don't know if that's something easy that they can do, but I feel like
I don't know. Actually, the more I think about it, that sounds really hard to do.
because because it would make things rely way more on the gyroscopics, which I mean, obviously Mario Kart already has that a little bit. It would be a matter of figuring out how to tie like turning and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
Again, Mario Kart can already do that, but how much of it? I don't play with it with motion controls for gyroscopics.
You're weak.
Splatoon.
Yes,
Yeah, there you
Splatoon.
go.
That'd be a good one. You use
Gyros are
those motion controls all the way.
There actually even is like this was back on the Wii U days. I think they also have it for the Switch version in Mario Kart. Like as you were waiting for the game to start in like the little Me World thing, you could like have this preset dialogue box that was I'm using motion controls, and 9 times out of 10 that'd be the person in last place, and everyone would be like,
I
"We know
bet.
why you're in last," and
You're gonna
everybody.
have those precise controls on Mario.
we
Kart.
all agree that you're doing God's work, but
Fighting the good
bless you.
fight.
God
but,
bless you
We join the heathens over
for
here.
being strong. You are a stronger person than we are.
Absolutely. But yeah, so the Nintendo Labo looks like I said, I was not expecting
cool.
what it was, but it turned out to be something pretty cool.
It is pretty awesome.
I was surprised by
Yeah.
it for sure.
I'm super psyched
It's
about
good.
it.
It's a well-made commercial too.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
I was like, ooh, this is- I
Man,
watched the whole
Nintendo
thing.
never
It was
needs
awesome.
help with their advertising
No, they don't.
campaigns.
It's
They knock
always,
it out
like,
of the park
trending.
every
Everyone's like,
time.
Yep.
Yep.
People thumbs, hitting that like button, hitting that like and subscribe. That's what
Yeah.
Nintendo's
That's
getting over there.
They don't even have have to say it. They're so
No,
good at
they're so good, it
advertising.
just
People
happens.
do it
Yeah.
themselves.
Like, yes, please, I do want to receive more updates about the Labo.
About the Labo.
But no, so we obviously it'd be really sweet to hear what everybody else would like to see. Like, what are your thoughts about it? I know we actually had Nick on our Discord. He asked, he's like, "So you guys going to talk about the Labo?" And we're like, "Oh no, we're going to talk about the Labo." But like, you know,
Please, sir.
we're on this. But yeah. So obviously, you know, we want to know like what would be your ideal Labo accessory? What kit really does get your gears going for it? Are you already super excited enough about to be pre-ordering that Labo? Because
I changed my vote. I want to be a full Gundam.
oh,
I want to be
Well,
like
it's
not,
already halfway there with the robot
Not just
one.
a little
Yeah,
robot.
you
I want to
can
be
do
a
it.
big ass Gundam.
Gundam Fighter.
World, you
X,
stick your hands up.
Is there a new Gundam?
Futurama quote. Zoidberg, when he gets really big, you stick your hands up, world.
Isn't there already a Gundam game coming out soon or something?
Is there?
I feel like I've heard of that.
It's definitely not going to be for the Nintendo Labo.
Well, no. I'm just saying, like, on some thing out there, I feel like there's going to be
Something.
a, you know,
Who knows what?
I don't know.
If
But-
it's not styled like Zone of the Enders, I don't care. How's that for a super dated reference?
There you go.
Yeah.
That is dated. But yeah, so it'd be interesting to see. Like I said, I think I'll hold out. But I also said that about the Switch. I also said that, like, I think I'm going to hold out for a little bit. And then I wound up getting it. So who knows? Like,
Better eat your Labo.
Oh my god.
I wouldn't have to worry about Fender. It's the cat.
It's the cat.
The cat is the one who I would be worried about eating my Labo.
Mode for
Oh,
Fender.
cats love to chew on cardboard.
That's what I mean. My
Labo.
They rip my Labo.
My day one launch edition Labo.
Maybe we should suggest to Nintendo.
You darn cat.
You destroyed my Labo.
Oh, man, I'm going to have to go back to the store and get more Labo.
Surely you can use like pizza boxes as replacement.
Oh my god, that would be so funny.
You can.
I got my limited edition Pizza Hut branded
Yeah.
Labo.
Figure it out, idiot. It's like,
Just to like lay it over, cut it out, be like, yes, I am superior. And also, when I get a snack, I just smell the whiff of Pizza Hut.
Really, that's a win-win cross-marketing scheme.
yeah,
Honestly,
they should
yeah.
do
Nintendo and
Domino's.
Pizza Hut, they
There you
need to
go.
team up.
Yeah.
It's like I was watching. Do you guys ever watch Shark Tank?
Oh, I love
No.
Shark
Oh,
Tank.
Shark Tank's the best.
Yeah,
You need
it's
to get
great.
on Shark Tank.
No,
Do you know what
thank
Shark
you.
Tank is?
I know what it is, but
Okay,
I'm not
okay.
interested.
I saw one on there that came up. Was this company who was trying to make like a more environmentally friendly pizza box. Or it's basically like you get the pizza box and then you can tear it into like 4 sections, so you have your 4 plates, and then then those sections can then even be folded down into like takeaway boxes. And so, but it honestly, like how they were showing and like demonstrating their boxes, it looked pretty much like how you fold the Labo and all that stuff.
Did the sharks bite?
Did the sharks bite?
I honestly
Is that the term
can't.
they use?
Is that what they say on the show?
I can't remember if they did. They were concerned
All
because
the
they were
people
like,
that come on there like, yeah, I've already made $1 million.
Yeah,
they're like,
I know, and they're like, that's not enough.
Yeah, I
You
know.
need to
I'm
be
like,
$10 million.
Yeah.
But no, I feel like it was. They said something like, even though they were saying it's only going to cost like pennies more than what they were already paying, but they're like, but we buy billions of pizza boxes, like that. Those pennies add up to be a lot. So I think they passed for that reason. But still, it was like they're like, got a good idea, but let's figure out how to make it a little cheaper or something like that. But I was looking at there you go. If those people want to combine with the pizza chains and Nintendo, they can be the bridge, the merger of 2018.
Those people from Shark Tank are probably like, our time has come.
We know all about tearing and folding cardboard boxes. This is great. Or it's that other dude who's in the Domino commercial, because where it's like the dude who like can fold ridiculously amount of pizza boxes super quickly.
When you watch that commercial,
I know, because they're like,
I'm like,
no, it's pretty.
Let
funny.
him out.
It's
Let him go home.
Yeah, can this guy can he get another job now?
he's just in love doing this, holding these pizza boxes.
Gun to his head.
I mean, I get it. You like what you like.
Faster.
World record pizza box folding. Yo. But yeah, so there you go. There's all these instances. Man, Nintendo, if you haven't done the work already, we're doing it for you.
Yeah.
We are laying out this marketing and plan. Seriously.
We are full of ideas.
We are
Fired
laying it out
day one.
right now. Because all we want to do is talk about Sony and Xbox things. But anyway, so
I like Xbox.
have you seen those PS4 exclusives? And they're like, what about the Switch exclusives? I'm like, I don't know. But no. So yeah. So the Nintendo Labo seems to have a ton of huge potential, and it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun.
It's got a
I'm
lot of
excited to get
potential.
my hands on it at some point. Maybe
too.
when I get kids.
Wow.
Might just go.
I just want a Roomba.
That's all I ask.
I'm a simple person. I just want a Roomba.
It's like, but then you could make like a DJ Roomba version, from Parks and Rec.
yes.
But it's just your
DJ Roomba.
It's just for the Switch though. So your Switch rides on top
Oh,
of it.
that would be so cute.
get
I
some-
want it to play the Wii Shop music.
There you go.
From like
Oh, there you go.
2009.
Music. What is? How does
Good
that
music.
go? Sorry,
I don't know.
Somebody find
No,
it.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep, that's
Someone put that music over Final Destination Deaths. Yeah, and it's really funny. It's on YouTube. It's like, they're like,
We're dying.
the crazy Final Destination
Oh yeah,
Deaths. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
That's really funny.
That's good.
Somebody did the Crash Woe meme
Oh,
over for the Nintendo Wii Shop music. Wah, 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 wah. It's really funny.
You love that.
I
meme.
love
You
that
can't get
meme.
enough of
It's
that
one of my favorites.
There was
God.
names for the what are we talking about?
Labo?
The Labo.
Yeah.
It's like, look at Dark Souls on Labo, and it's like these kids
See,
in like
another one.
boxes sword fight. It's just ridiculous.
That would be so
Oh
funny.
man. I mean, honestly, it's got. I will be very interested to see where it goes because they have so much room to grow, with the Labo and everything, and obviously the initial reactions out the gate.
Nintendo Lab or Nintendo Lab. I wish it wasn't called Labo.
It is kind of an odd name.
I don't really
I will
like
give you that.
Hey, Labo. I don't know. It's like an evil rope.
They should call it the Labendo.
Yeah, Nintendo.
Sounds very
Labendo.
Spanish.
Labendo.
Lab. I don't know.
I don't know.
Nah, who cares?
Yeah. Whatever.
We've already got enough suggestions for them. Let's all just compile a big list and we'll email them to
We'll
Reggie
s-
and we'll see what happens.
You know what? Let's Labo it to them.
There we go.
We're gonna make a
Labo it.
little robot and
Yeah.
Labo the list to them,
It'll
and
take
they'll be like
literally
hired.
10 years
Yeah.
10 years.
for it to travel from here to where's their headquarters? Seattle, I believe. So yeah, we'll update the progress on that. It's literally going to be like sending the Mars rover or whatever. Like, did it make it 10 years later? Ooh, nope, got taken out by a rogue asteroid. Damn.
Asteroid.
But yeah, we'll see what we can do.
Time and money down the drain.
But yeah, so the Nintendo Labo looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. All right. Well, before we go, we do have our song contest from this week given to us by Fuchsia. Her hint is, a cat with 2 tails may still only have 9 lives, but you can have 12.
Ooh.
A cat with 2 tails may still only have 9 lives, but you can have 12.
That is a very good hint.
It is.
I like it.
It's something to do with Sonic.
You think?
No.
Because tails? How many tails does Tails have?
Why would
Tails
you
has,
even say
Tails
that?
has 2
Two tails.
tails.
Tails isn't a cat,
But Tails
though.
is
The
a
first,
cat.
no, he's not. He's a fox,
he's
right?
a fox.
The first thing that came to my head was the Pokemon with Ninetales from. Isn't it Ninetales?
Yeah, there's Ninetales, but
There's
it's kind of more
Ninetales.
like a wolf, sort of.
Yeah.
It's like a
Still
doggo.
not a cat.
No.
A cat with two... Wait, read me the hint again.
Here's it one more time. I know it's a long one, so we'll give you the third
we're
read
like
through.
way
Here
off.
we
Just
go.
like, dog, just ignore that. I'm just trying to
A
get to
cat
the
with
last part.
2 tails may still only have 9 lives, but you can have 12.
But you can have 12.
So you can go up to 12, I guess. You can have up to
Interesting.
12 lives with this cat. Two-tailed cat.
Two-tailed cat could have
2-tailed cat.
9 or 12.
Just anywhere in that range. Pick what you like. But so the song contest goes live Wednesday 9 a.m. the day after this episode airs. First person to correctly guess this game from the song hint and hint given will be able to send us a future song and hint for another episode. But so we put a post out on Facebook and Twitter. That's where you can put your comments and replies. And again, first person to guess correctly gets to send us a song and hint our way. But that is Wednesday, 9 a.m., day after this episode goes live. But with that, that concludes this episode of Team Chat Podcast. Until next time, I'm one of your hosts, Jerrett Wilson, joined to my right by Rachel Mogan.
Sayonara.
And to my left, Zachary Parks.
Peace out.
We'll see you all later. Stick around for the song.